dating in your 30s. I met this old man recently, right? Y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Patty, for those of you who may not know, and today we are yapping. We are talking about, honey, the 30s, things I am learning, unlearning, talking about some dating things. We just having a good yap session when I get this face together to go out with myself on a solo date. So stay tuned, and as always, y'all, if you have anything to say, you relate, you don't, drop it down in the comments and enjoy the video. Hey y'all, so just to start things off per usual, I just want to say I apologize for the light fluctuations. Your girl has been extremely lazy when it comes to lighting, and I just don't feel like breaking out my big lights. They make such cute, like, newer lights now that aren't as big and bulky, and I just need to invest in them. But right now it's just been so much easier filming off a natural light, so that is what we are doing. Yeah, so today I just kind of wanted to talk, a little chit chat while I'm getting ready to head out today. I am filming, but I am also going to a South African wine tasting class. So I was like, well, since we gotta get a little cute, even though it feels like hell outside. No, really, like it's like over 100 degrees. I was like, we can talk. So really this talk is supposed to be kind of therapeutic for both of us. One, just kind of sharing where I am in life, feeling about my 30s, state of the world, and also just kind of helping people to feel encouraged to keep trying to learn yourself, discover yourself, and try new things. So let's just get right on into it. So today I'm going out by myself. I highly recommend solo dates. I just feel like, one, you know how everybody is talking about solo travel, that's also on the list, but I feel like sometimes you just need to be with you, okay? Double especially true if you are a wife, a mother, if you are in a relationship. Y'all already know how we are. We have those things. We pour. You need to pour into yourself. And sometimes, y'all, doing things in groups is so fun. Y'all know I love my friends, and I'm always gonna hang out with my friends. But sometimes it is just easy to go and come how you want, when you want. Sometimes it's nice to meet new people. I've learned so many things, y'all, just having random small conversations with people. So I highly recommend starting with like movies if you haven't done that before. Next, I would say to start to go out to eat by yourself. And you can start in a booth. I know it's just, especially if you're trying to multitask and you don't want to talk to people. To me, when you sit at the bar, it's giving people more of an indicator that you might want to talk. So if I'm not in a talking mood, I'm not gonna sit at a bar by myself. I'll just sit in the booth, maybe bring my computer or something. And as you get more comfortable, I would challenge you to leave your phone in the car. Unless you are like creating content, which is also sometimes a really good conversation starter. And as a woman who does content creation and whatnot, it is also kind of easier because, y'all, we'll get to the dating part of the conversation, but it can be very awkward telling people that you're interested in dating or getting to know that you do make content, you are on platforms and such. I have gotten such interesting responses. But yeah, definitely just try it. To me, I feel like events are a lot less overwhelming, but I do understand for some people that could be a lot when you're first starting to do things on your own. But do it for the plot. Learn yourself, learn what you like, learn what places and environments you like to be in alone, what places and environments you don't want to be alone. Like, it's just so nice. I think the hardest thing for me going to be adjusting to motherhood one day, if that's in the cards for me, is the coming and going as I want when I want. No explanations needed. Like, this could be really hard for me, but I really do enjoy it. I've met so many people, y'all. Even when I was laid off, I met so many people that told me about so many industries that you just don't even know exist. I feel like they do that intentionally to keep certain folks out. You already know. You gotta get to details, specifics about that. But yeah, I've learned so many things I didn't know existed. Just random small conversations. Like tonight, for example, some of the conversation that I'm thinking about starting off with is, what type of wines do y'all drink? Are you a serious wine drinker? Do you prefer, alcohol, liquor, or are you a mixed bag, or you just dependent on the day? Asking people like, what was their favorite type? Are they in the red? Are they more in the whites? For me personally, I am starting to phase out of the super sweet wines. Like, definitely not a Moscato. Riesling is probably like, you feel like you've graduated from Moscato, but even Rieslings are starting to become a little too sweet for me. And I'm actually starting to like more reds. Not super dry, where it takes the whole saliva off your tongue. Unless it's like with a meal, for real. But yeah, that's where I am. That's good conversation starters. What draw them into this class, how they found it. Like, this is a skill pop class. They have skill pop in Charlotte as well as Raleigh, and they have all these different classes that you can just not even really think about. Sometimes they have cooking classes, sometimes they will have like floral classes, painting classes, photography classes, marketing classes, finance classes. I mean, anything you can think of, they really have, and they're random. You never know really when they're going to be offered, so I highly recommend you follow the page if you are in Charlotte or the Raleigh area. And I've been following them for a while, and I'm excited that this is going to be my first experience with them. And we are going to a wine shop and they're actually closed on Monday, so we get to be in there alone. I'm so excited. It's only $55, and all of their stuff isn't expensive either. Sometimes I've seen things for like $25. I've seen self-defense classes. I've seen just so many different things where the price ranges. I think the most expensive was like $100, but they're not bad. You get in where you fit in, okay, with the budget. So I'm excited about it. I really and truly am. Some of the conversations I also could get into is that this is specific to the South African country, right? South Africa. What other regions do they love wines from, right? The reason why I chose this class is because when we did a class in DC with my friend for her birthday, that's actually in a whole vlog. That was back in March, so that is up there if you want to see it. We went to a winery that was a restaurant as well, and we had a seated wine tour. So got to wear heels. The girls love to sit down. The girls love to sit down, and we got to learn about wines. And one of the questions we asked her was, okay, she has all her certifications for tasting, all of those things that I cannot remember the name of. And it was like, okay, so what regions do you like your wine? And she said, people sleep on South African wine. So when I saw the class, I was like, this math thing, I have to try. So So you see how those are like good segue conversations, and then you kind of, Charlotte is a melting pot, which is why I also really love transplant cities. You just are able to start conversations, I feel like, a little bit more easily. I feel like people are a lot more open to wanting to have conversations because people aren't from here. They don't know a whole host of people. And I'm always very intrigued by people's life paths. So one of the questions I ask is, are you from Charlotte? Because I've been here for, it'll be 3 years in December, and I think I've only known less than 10 people that are actually from here. So that's a good conversation starter, you know. I felt like living in the DMV, the first question people normally ask you is what you do for a living, which can go hit or miss depending on where the person is from. In the DMV, people are very familiar with that question. People are always thinking about networking. Then we would segue into the how long it takes you to get to the office, because babes, those commutes were no joke. It used to take me an hour plus, if there were no accidents, to go 10 miles. And that's a good day. And that's not when summer traffic, you know, the summer is out, school's out, and people traveling up and down 95 on top of the regular DMV traffic. Yeah, I don't miss that. Every time I think about moving back, I'd be like, bruh, standing all times a day, bruh. It's not just rush hour either. But those were good conversation starters. So, you know, you see somebody wearing something you like, good conversation starter. You know, ask them how they learned about the skill pop stuff. Do they know somebody? Did somebody tell them about it? Like, you know. Then asking them favorite restaurants and places around. Like, it just begins to flow, and you can kind of pick up from other people's conversations and keep it going. I'm good at that part of it. Forced networking isn't it. I actually had a friend here that used to talk about that so much, about how women network versus how men network is completely different. Like, they go play games, they go golf, they go do outings and they have fun, and then they talk business. Us, it's like, okay, this is very strategic. We're here for business. Let's not let our hair down too much, you know, especially as a woman of color. You know how you go to those work happy hours and people getting sloppy drunk, and you're just like, I could never. So this type of getting to know people is up my alley. It's so not forced, it's relaxed. And at the end of the day, more often than not, you may never see these people again. And if you have something planned and you no longer feel like talking to people, pivot. Go out to eat and sit in the corner, go to a dark movie by yourself. But I would encourage you to talk. Conversational skills are becoming more and more of a lost art. And for those of you who are single, you also know. You also know. You know what I mean by that. So I guess we can pivot into the dating conversations. Dating in your 30s. I feel like so many people have so many rules about like what to do, what ages you should date, what you should say, what conversations to start, what things you need to address immediately. It can feel so overwhelming, and I feel like the fun has been sucked out of it, and I'm trying to find the fun. Like, I'm trying to get back into the do it for the plot. But if I felt like doing it for the plot, I haven't. I really and truly have not. I keep trying the online dating thing. I am gonna give Facebook dating a try. So if anybody has tried it, please let me know your experience. But I tried Bumble for one time and I got off. I was like, I can't do that, it's not for me. Hinge, I love the profile setup on Hinge, and I really wish more men's pages that have come up in my feed really use it. Like, when I come across men who really like do the prompts, it just helps you start a conversation, you know? But I guess I keep running into like people who say they're looking for someone that has really good conversational skills, but then they hit you with the one-word responses. Like, bro, that's not, it's like, I hit the ball, you hit it back, I hit the ball, you hit it back, but it just be like me smacking ball. That sounded very inappropriate. And it's not what I meant at all, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so I really got to get back into it. Even with like the kids thing, I'm not 100% against dating someone with a kid. Would I prefer someone with no kids? Absolutely. And that is because of my last experience talking to someone with kids. I realized that I am a lot more, I don't want to say selfish, but needy than I thought I was. And not needy and like text me, call me all the time. Please don't text me, call me all the time. I'm not that type. That's not my communication style. That's gonna make me very overwhelmed. But when you are talking to someone and they are an actual really good parent, they are busy. They are busy, and even when you get to the point where you meet their kids come first, as they should, right? But I feel like a lot of people haven't experienced what it's like talking to a man that is a top tier father. Like, bruh, and I never thought I would ever feel like that, and it was very much like, I can't believe I'm feeling these things. But like, the kids will come over, they're laughing, joking, but they want to play with dad, they want to hang out with dad, they want to snuggle with dad, and I'll be like, I want to snuggle with your daddy too. Like, really and truly. And I think that's also what led me to be like, you have to check yourself, you know? You have to check yourself. But it also kind of made me feel like, when do I get that true selfish season with a partner? Like, I really want to be able to experience that. I want to be able to experience the walking around half naked in the crib. You can't do that. You got a little, I mean, when they little, but like, they be seeing parts and knowing parts, okay? And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I yearn for that season with a partner. So that's really my hang up with the kids thing. And of course, I'm not changing the diapers. Like, the child has to be past toddler stage. Like, I can't. And two, what really sucks that I haven't heard anybody talk about is if you break up with somebody who has kids and you've bonded with them, that's a different type of hurt, especially because you have no rights to these kids. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, I'm gonna get every other weekend, or I can talk to, no, you can't, that's not your kids, bruh. Like, and depending on how you fell out with that person, you may no longer be able to do those things, and that is something I don't want to experience again. Okay. So do I believe there are amazing people who have kids that would be amazing partners? I do. And it is not the first thing that turns me off about a guy. Now, what turns me off is lying about having the kids. Like, that trying to make me like you before you tell me you got children is some very extremely manipulative stuff, and I do not like it, and I will stop talking to you. Because why did you omit that? Because it already makes me feel like you're dishonest and you're trying to make me like you, and so I would just deal with whatever you come with. Why are you not proud of the fact that you are a parent? Like, no. Do not deceive me. The other challenging part for me right now, thinking about talking with somebody with kids, is I'm not 100% sure where I want to settle down. And for me, wherever the children are, I would want to be, because I I grew up with an absolutely amazing father. My parents are still together. I was blessed to wake up and see my daddy every single day. And I just feel like unless it was something work required where we had to leave because of a job or something like that, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the woman that felt like, the kid felt like, oh, you talking to this woman and y'all moved away and now I only get to see you in the summers. Like, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. We will have to be wherever those kids are. And having kids with the person who have kids, like, I want them to be close to their siblings. I'm not with that half nothing siblings, like, you know what I mean? So it just adds another layer of complexity, you know what I'm saying? It's not impossible, but it is a sacrifice. And it would take some type of an amazing man that I do believe exists. I do. It's just the online dating has been very, very, very challenging for me. I think it was the Washington Post or the New York Times recently published like a study about how it's like the online dating is affecting people's mental health, which was also nice because sometimes I feel like people make you feel like, oh, you're not trying hard enough, or they're not understanding how mentally debilitating it can be. Because it's like, okay, you gotta remain hopeful, remain positive, but also like don't overly invest, don't share like it'd be a lot, okay? And then also like, bruh, it's just like, I just wanna be who I am. Naturally flowing who I am. I don't want somebody to feel like, oh, you were just trying to play by these rules till you got somebody, because I do feel like we talk a lot about men doing that. But women be out here doing that too. They be doing the bait and switch too. And I don't want to be like that. I really, really don't. But it is so challenging. And I feel like at least I think I'm approachable. Like the only time I've ever been really mean to a man approaching me is like when they're making me feel unsafe and uncomfortable. Now that is when I act crazy. That is typically like an indicator that I don't feel safe. When I start acting crazy, like when I'm doing a whole lot because I'm trying to, draw attention, I feel unsafe. Please leave me alone. But 9 times out of 10, I speak back, I'll talk, I'll hold a conversation, like, which sometimes I don't know somebody's hitting on me, and then, y'all, this old man. Like, I met this old man recently, right, in Chili's, waiting for my order to pick it up, because they got that 3 for $10 special. You better ask somebody, okay? And I'm waiting to pick up my order. He came inside and we just talking, right? Asked me what church I went to, and I was just like, wow, he could tell I go to church. That's what's up. You know what I mean? Because I was really like, how you know I ain't atheist? But okay, that's cool. We talking, y'all, we have a good conversation. I just think he a nice old man. And then he asked me for my number, and the way he phrased it made it seem like he was gonna be helping me, sending me stuff in the area, like or some like type grandpa type vibes. But then after I gave him my number, he started like, y'all, your girl is out the game, okay? He started saying all these things about how I looked, and I was just like, whoa, like, bruh, where this man, y'all, I googled his number, because of course he called me, right? And of course I blocked the number. This man is 65 years old. What? I am not taking care of no old man, okay? I'm not. I am not at all, unless that is my husband, we old together. I is not doing that, babes. I'm not doing it. And I was just like, dang. But I also feel like when it comes to dating, like, I feel like, you know how they always tell women, you need to be outside, you gotta be outside. Y'all, these men need to be outside. I'm so tired of going out and it is just a sea full of women. The last time my parents were here and we were talking about dating, we were out to eat, and my sister and I told my dad, and we were just like, Dad, look around. What you see? There's a whole bunch of women. He's like, you're right. There is so many more women out here. Where are these men at? Y'all come outside. And not just to the sports bar either. Good Lord. Do something else. Try some other things. But I do know that I used to think it was a lot just like one-sided, but I do have a brother who is now married, and I know men are experiencing a lot too. And I do feel bad that I feel like so many of them were taught being a provider was like the #1 importance. But now, especially for Black women, being the most educated demographic in the United States, period. Boom, 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 boom. A lot of us are making more than our significant others, and a lot of what we desire is equitable partnership and emotional intelligence. And I feel like the plot changed, you know, and I feel like they just weren't hip, and I do feel bad. I do feel bad that there is a male loneliness epidemic, and I do feel like there's just a lot of stuff on social media that just is not helpful. Like these like bro podcasts, I think sometimes I get frustrated because I don't feel like I hear enough good men popping off on the internet when they hear other men saying things that are like not. And I also feel like that's like an issue, like the accountability thing. But I do believe there are good men. I just be like, where are y'all at, bruh? Where is the watering hole? what is good? Like, at one point I was sliding in DMs, y'all. Like, I really was. In the past couple of years, I just been feeling like, bruh, so like just not interested. And I'm trying to find the interest. I'm trying to find like the want to. And I think what's truly scaring me, if I'm being perfectly honest with y'all, is how at peace I am. Like, I feel like because of my age, like I should be starting to stress, but like I don't feel that way. And I don't know a lot of women that feel that way, right? Like, always have wanted to have kids. I've always wanted to be a mother, always have wanted to be a wife. But you know what also doesn't help is knowing so many people are unhappy that have those things, that it's just like, I feel like it's also like this destination happiness, which I also feel like has been a thing in my early 30s, that I'm realizing that I feel like a lot of us are reaching this point where a lot of the things we thought was gonna make us happy is not making us happy. Like, it's not. It's really, really not. And we're like, oh, I really thought being a wife and a mother was gonna be the pinnacle of the things I wanted in life, and now you have it and you're like, raising these kids is ghetto. I'm tired. And this man get on my nerves. And then the single folks are like, oh, I just can't wait to get married and have kids. The people who are married and have kids are like, bruh, I miss my single days just being out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the grass is always greener somewhere else. You feel me? Why do I keep doing this instead of moving to the next step? Because I clearly can't multitask. And even with the destination happiness, not even just in like the realms of discussion when it comes to dating, it's also career-wise. Like, and I feel like one of the reasons, I'm gonna keep it above with y'all, that I wanted to move from the DMV is I feel like so much emphasis was being put on who you were career-wise. Like, people were tying their identity to what they did for a living, which in some cases isn't bad, right? But in a lot of cases, it's like, you're more than a job title. Just because you don't have a certain job title does not mean you have less value than someone else. And the reasons I wanted to move were like the same, like the opposite reasons of the reason I wanted to move there. Like, I was so like enamored by like, oh my gosh, like it's so normal for black people to be doing well. And I'm not gonna hold y'all, I do low-key miss that, because sometimes I feel like when you live in areas where it's, I do feel like sometimes low-key when you live in areas where it's not that way, people kind of treat you like, wow, you do this or that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just elitism. One of the ladies I like, oh, her name escapes me, hopefully editing me remembers to put it on the screen. She has like a whole conversation on her channel about like black excellence and how some of us have made it like our identity and stuff. But y'all, I'm gonna keep it up with you. I don't care about nothing about these job titles. All I care about is the paper. I don't feel like I'm better than anybody. I just want to be able to live comfortably, to be able to travel, be able to help take care of my parents in their old age. Like, that's it. Job titles don't mean nothing. Like, one of the things I do feel like I do enjoy about being in Charlotte is that people don't ask you the what you do for a living conversation to death. But it's just, y'all, one of the most eye-opening things I feel like I've been able to experience flowing in and out of different socioeconomic environments is that, y'all, I would go to the DMV, right, where all these people are super successful. I mean, you're meeting people who are doctors, lawyers, architects, working 9 to 5, own nonprofits, businesses. Like, I mean, it's just that type of area. Like, you're seeing people drive the fancy cars, the Porsches, Lexus, whatever else the high-end cars are. I'm not really a big car person. And y'all, it would be like, I'm around these people, right? They have all of these things, the super big houses, like they have all of the things, y'all, and they still ain't happy. And they'll come home back to Richmond, being around people who make a quarter of what they make, and they're happier. I was like, wait a minute, have I been bamboozled? yeah. Bruh, I don't care nothing about that. I just want to be able to pay these bills and have some more left over so I can do a little shopping, a little traveling. Because also not having it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like Alana was getting a lot of heat for her interview with Speedy when she was talking about like, I OD powder because it's 100 degrees outside, okay? She was kind of talking about like how she feels about obtaining wealth, and it's kind of just like, well, what's next? Like, I got the millions, like I've achieved this, like, you know, what people are striving for their whole lives. And of course, when you don't have money, all you think about is money, because money does make life easier. Like, we ain't even gonna front and act like it don't, because it definitely does. It definitely opens more doors for you. It definitely can alleviate some stress. But then one of the things that the lady I was telling y'all about previously on her channel, y'all have seen her because she be having outfits, okay? She be traveling, but she also have these like sessions, or she calls them like yapping sessions. And in one of the videos too, she was talking about how, I guess, her struggles in becoming successful when you don't come from, not even successful, let's not say successful, financially well off. and how people basically use her as the bank, and how she struggled to find boundaries because she doesn't want to be the bank for everybody, but she also wants to help people, you know, and family and stuff like that. So it's like being broke has problems, being rich has problems. If I had to choose, give me the rich people problems. But you know, something else I feel like has been challenging is learning boundaries in your 30s. Like, I feel like I'm trying to get this powder out between my nose. I feel like nobody really talked about how hard it is to establish boundaries in current relationships, friendships, the whole nine. It's so much easier to establish your boundaries in new relationships, friendships, all the ships, right? But trying to establish them when you've already been one way, it can be difficult. And I think something else is like, bro, I look forward to aging is the thing I love hearing women talk about the most in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s is like they don't be caring no more. And like, even though I feel like I'm starting to care less, bro, I be caring. I feel bad when I'm not available to talk, or I don't, you know, have the mental capacity. Like, bro, I be feeling bad. Like, I'm doing it, I have to establish these boundaries and such, but like, I do be feeling bad. Now, work-wise, I don't be feeling bad. I had this work experience, y'all, with this older woman who got away with getting the same pay and doing a quarter of the work. And when I tell y'all, it forever changed me. And the way that I work, like, you getting the same money and you doing a quarter of the work and ain't nobody saying nothing to you. And also learning, I feel like I've learned in my 30s career wise, is that excelling at your job very, very rarely helps you grow within that company. People love to keep you where you are when you are doing so good. Like, they don't want you to leave them. And oftentimes you get rewarded with more work. Once they start realizing like, oh, you gonna stay late, you gonna get it done, you working through lunches after hours, it is very hard to break that type of boundary once you've already created it in a job. What do we need to do next? We need to hurry up. That's what we need to do. Y'all, I promise when I'm doing my makeup and I'm not recording, I do this so much faster. I really and truly do. And even though now I come on here with my base already done, I still end up slowing down. But yeah, so yeah, feeling like, and y'all, it sounds so bad, but when I started this recent position this past year, y'all, I did not get my 100, because I know when you set that bar, that becomes a standard. No. Now, have there been a few instances, like recently, right now, we're switching to like a new ERP system, and I've had to, like, you know, step things up. It has been a lot. Babe, I can always get it done. That's just the type of like worker I have been raised to be, that I am. But like this being abused thing, no. We gonna put that foot down, as Medea be saying. You know what, y'all, the last time we did our makeup on here and I did the life update about the car crash and stuff, I don't even think I did my nose, like contour my nose. I be forgetting, mostly because I really don't care. I just like the shadow effect but not so much trying to make my nose smaller. Just kind of defining that bad boy. Something else that I feel like has changed for me, or changing for me in my 30s, y'all, is my confidence physically. I don't know if y'all saw that post that was like, I realize the older I'm becoming, the more comfortable, like unpresentable I am out in public. Y'all, the way I be on these vlogs and my bonnet, the way I'm cool with like not having on makeup all the time, not being super dressed up for it. I don't be caring. You gonna get me how you get me. And honestly, I really credit a lot of that to COVID, because I feel like I got so used to not wearing makeup every day, not seeing myself with makeup every day, and realizing like, bruh, you've done all this work to your skin, to invest in your skin, to be consistent with your skincare routines. Like, my skin looks good. And also the time, like, I feel like prior to COVID, I didn't realize how much time and effort it took to get dressed, and then being a remote worker, coming back to being a hybrid worker, to like, bruh, the roll out the bed to put the computer on is life. The time it takes to get dressed, like, I will choose more sleep every time. Every time. And also, when you don't do your makeup as much, when you do it, you feel like razzle dazzle, razzle dazzle. But just being able to hold your head up high, no matter what, being able to walk out the house in an hour and still feeling cute, is something I'm very proud of, because it wasn't always that way. I don't know if I share with y'all like my confidence journey, and maybe we'll talk about that in another video, because your girl has come a long way, and I do feel like it's even translated into the dating thing with what you will and won't allow, like the tolerance. It's not what it used to be, honey, but that does make me happy. So I am going to bronze, because we're just doing simple recording today and going to this event. Y'all, I use one of my shadows as a blush, and when I tell y'all, I have been so obsessed with using blushes, using eyeshadows for blushes. I do feel like you have to really pack it on in there. But honey, when I tell you, using a blush, I use a purple one. If you haven't seen my most recent life update, go check it out. Even if you just want to go to the end to see like how my makeup came out. But I was feeling that purple blush, like that shadow. I was like, oh, we gonna be doing that one again. I am ODing again. Let's move on. Okay, so now this is the Fenty Beauty Mocha Mami. Y'all, I use all the same products. Like, I don't be switching it up for real. What did I want to do? We did bottom liner. Oh, highlighter. Still using the Danessa Myricks highlighter palette. I'm gonna use, where do rose gold? Like, why not? But yeah, y'all, that's just kind of how, like, what I've been feeling about. Ooh, we did a little too much, it's fine. About life, 30 so far. Like, when people ask, like, oh, would you go back to being a teenager, or would you go back to another age? And I wouldn't. I would not. The 20s were treacherous for me, especially the early 20s. Baby, what is a boundary? I didn't know what a boundary was, okay? You can spell it. couldn't see it. What is that? What do you mean? Go backwards? No. Only thing I think would be nice about going backwards is to not pay bills. That is really and truly the only thing that I could say I could possibly desire. But bruh, the lessons of the 20s, oh my gosh, I don't even recognize who that girl was. Like, ooh, the embarrassment. One of the things I do feel like I did learn in my 20s is when you begin to omit telling your friends things that's going on in your relationship because you know things ain't right, that's one of your biggest indicators that it might be time when you have to start hiding stuff because you know you sticking around some crazy mess. Yeah. Ooh, I completely wiped away the front of that eyebrow. Let's bring her back. Period. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna fast forward through this while I put on these lashes. Okay, y'all, so the lashes are on. I'm getting ready to do the lip, which is the Butter Gloss and Praline, which hopefully I can get open. Last time I put lotion on my hands before, which was like the dumbest thing anybody could possibly do. And we definitely need some more. I did see this video that was telling women to like stop doing this because you're pushing air into the product, which is gonna make it expire sooner. But sometimes you be trying to hurry up and get that product out. So that is it, y'all. This is just gonna be my face to record and go out today. Thank you for spending some time yapping with your girl. If you can relate to any of these things, y'all, please drop it down in the comments and let me know if there's any specific topics you would like me to talk about. I try to be as vulnerable as possible, but if there's certain things you want me to touch on that I haven't before, just let me know, and I will see y'all in another video. Bye.